All right, let's dive into the one-of-a-kind world of 311. For, over 3 decades now, this band from Omaha, Nebraska has been mixing up rock, reggae, funk, and hip-hop into this sound that is just completely their own.
So how does that even happen? You know, a band from the middle of the country getting its name from a police scanner and creating its own holiday? Well, we're going to get into all of that as we peel back the layers on one of rock's most creative and just plain durable bands. Let's do this. Okay, first up, let's talk about something that's almost a myth in the music industry: stability. Seriously, in a world where band members come and go, 311 is this incredible exception to the rule.
So, they got their start way back in '88. And yeah, there were a couple of changes early on. But by 1992, with the official addition of SA Martinez on vocals and turntables, that was it. The crew was set.
And just let that sink in for a second. For more than 30 years, it's been the same 5 guys: Nick Hexum, Peanut, Chad Sexton, Tim Mahoney, and SA Martinez. That kind of chemistry is so rare, and it's a huge, huge part of their signature sound.
So, how did this super tight-knit group of guys from Nebraska go on to become multi-platinum superstars? Well, let's take a look at their journey into the mainstream. I mean, these guys really paid their dues. They spent years grinding it out, building a local fan base, and they even had their tour RV catch fire and destroy all their gear. But then 1995 happened. Their self-titled record, the one everyone calls the Blue Album, just exploded.
And it was really all thanks to 2 absolutely massive singles. You had Down and All Mixed Up. I mean, you couldn't escape those songs. They were all over the radio, they were staples on MTV, they were everywhere.
And this wasn't just some flash in the pan either. Their success has been incredibly long-lasting. By 2022, 311 had sold over 10 million records in the US alone. That really cements them as a major force in rock music.
All right, let's get into a little bit of band trivia, because this story really captures their whole vibe. You know, playful, a little bit rebellious. Have you ever actually wondered where the name 311 came from?
It's definitely not just some random number they pulled out of a hat. No way. It's actually a direct reference to a very specific and honestly pretty hilarious event from their early days back in Omaha. The story behind this is just fantastic. Yep, you're reading that correctly. 311 is the official police code for indecent exposure in their hometown.
So, the legend goes, their original guitarist got arrested for skinny dipping. Classic. Bassist Peanut heard the police code, thought it sounded cool, and suggested it for the band name. And it just stuck. It was perfect for a band that never took itself too seriously.
So at this point, they're riding high on all this mainstream success. They could have easily just played it safe, you know, put out another radio-friendly record. But nope, not 311. Instead, they took a huge creative risk with their next album in 1997.
They dropped Transistor, this sprawling, ambitious, super experimental album with an incredible 21 tracks on it. Just for context, most albums back then had like 10 or 12 songs, so this was a massive statement. At the time, the critics, they were kind of baffled. They called it bloated, self-indulgent. But the fans? Oh, the fans knew what was up. For them, this album became something legendary, a true masterpiece that a ton of them still call their best work ever.
You know, I saw a fan on Reddit sum it up perfectly. They said, yeah, it was maybe a little all over the place, but its daring creativity is exactly why it's so loved. It was a real journey of an album, one that rewarded you for listening closely.
And finally, this brings us to what might be the ultimate expression of 311's incredible connection with their fan base, a holiday they literally created for themselves and their fans.
What started as a pretty clever idea has just blossomed into this massive tradition. Every single year, on March 11th, 311, the band puts on this special mega concert that draws their most dedicated fans from all over the world.
And listen, we are not talking about your average concert here. These are marathon events. The band plays for hours, digging deep for hits, for rare songs, for fan favorites. I mean, in 2004, they played 68 songs in one night. It's a true pilgrimage for the faithful.
The whole thing became such a phenomenon in New Orleans, which hosted it a bunch of times, that the mayor actually gave it an official seal of approval, proclaiming March 11th as 311 Day. I mean, how many bands can say they have their own officially recognized city holiday?
So from an unbreakable lineup and a rebellious name to a fan-made holiday, 311 has just carved out this completely unique path in music. They've always been driven by their own creative vibe and this incredible bond with their audience. It really just leaves you wondering, what frequency are they going to tune into next?